We're doing this show with some help from our friends at NEA, the National Endowment for the Arts, the South Dakota Arts Council, and the Rapid City Arts Subsidy Fund. So thanks to all those people for helping us fund this fun show so that you will know what's going on.
Okay, Darla, welcome back. And we are going to talk to Darla about arts projects. One of the things she does that I am most impressed with is raise books for children. She does this every spring. It's called Readiatrics. And I love the way that this got started. And I think they have gotten engaged. So tell me a little bit more about Readiatrics.
Well, Readiatrics has a fun history. I was in a leadership program and going through the hospital, and I noticed that they had about 50 books there, and I thought that was really unusual, since hospitals are pretty well funded for those kinds of projects. And I asked our guide why there weren't more books there, and she replied with, well, we consider them contagious. Even if they go out with a child that's got a broken arm, or one of their siblings takes the book, it's considered contagious, and we just let them take the book home with them. And I thought, geez, you have to be replenishing them constantly. And so I asked, well, I know lots of people with books that are nice. Would you accept those? And she said, well, they have to be decontaminated. And I said, okay, how would I decontaminate books? So she said, they have to be really hot or really cold. And I said, well, my garage is pretty cold in the winter. And she said, yeah, if it's below 32 degrees, then they're decontaminated. So I said, what I'd like to do is ask my friends if they would donate some books. Their kids are beginning, they're getting older, they've got books there from when they were 2, and now they're 12, and maybe they'd like to try to get home with books. So I started out with a goal of raising 500 books, and I got little tubs, rubber made tubs. It's very organic, and put them around in a few different places. Little signs, I made for my computer, and the books started rolling in, and we ended up with about 7,000 that first year, and we could not believe it. We had all of our vehicles just totally packed full of, we had vans, so we had big vehicles packed full of books. Took them up to the hospital, and after you in our garages or outside, they were fine. And but when I was starting this, a friend of mine said, well, what are you going to call this? And I said, oh, I never thought about that. So I came home and I asked my family, and the kids were there, Don was here, and Don said, well, why don't you call it Readiatrics? Because it would help with pediatrics. And I said, oh, I don't like that. My children just laugh and went, that's stupid. And now 20 years later, here we are with the same name and a very successful book drive. But the next year I called the hospital and said, do you want more books? And they said, no, we have plenty.
7,000 was enough.
Yeah. So I went through different places. I went through the Children's Care Hospital. I went to different, the Girl Scouts. I don't know, just all over. And I finally found a really good partner, and that was the South Dakota Department of Health. And different clinics that could use the books. When the kids came in for a shot or a well-baby check, they could just leave with the book with them. And this really worked really well for me. They would take the books, they went through them to make sure they were appropriate. And that means a lot of different things when you're talking about an impoverished kind of population, because they might not need books on Santa Claus or the Easter Bunny, things like that we would think is normal. I really needed books of cultural relevance, and so I raised some money for that. And those are books, showing children of different races, different lifestyles, whether they're being raised by just a mom or their grandparents, or maybe there's a child with a disability in the home. Those kinds of things should be shown too. So, and And we weren't getting books like that. Now, gratefully, there's a lot more books like that come in. They're more available. But I still raise money for those types of books, and I buy books through BAM. So that's where I get my books.
What kind of partners in addition to?
Oh, wow. Well, I'll tell you what. I've got media partners who are just wonderful and getting the word out and letting people know this is going on. I'm still always surprised to meet people that have never heard of it. But the media people, the radio, Home Slice, KOTA, KPN, and NITCO, they've all been incredibly helpful all along. Like those Democratic media, excuse me, they do a drive, and they always raise a lot of books, and the employees also do their own personal drive where they raise money, and they always raise $700, $800, $900, and yeah, those are books of cultural. Yeah, then the staff also helps and bring the books over to where we're distributing them, and of course BAM has been an incredible partner last summer. Books A Million, excuse me, I should be more clear on that. Books A Million got us $11,500 worth of books last summer during their drives. Brand new books. So those are waiting patiently in my closet because they don't have to be decontaminated, and they'll be waiting there. And sometimes I just get the requests just in the middle of the year, maybe it's Christmas time. Some people didn't get as many donations as they thought they would for Toys R Us or for a certain school or whatever it is, and they will call me, and then I can help them. So that's what we do with the books that come in, and those are some of the people that help me the most in the community.
Is there anything that you, what do you need? And if they want to get hold of you, would you need volunteers, or do you need donations of books or money, or would you need help in this project?
Vibrant communities. You know, as long as people have children and keep buying books for them, I think we'll be okay. But just be aware that there is a place to repurpose your books. I hear all about recycling and all these things. Well, there's a perfect place to recycle, rehome those books into a place where children might not have access to books at all. They might not have access because there might not be a library close to their home, or even a school library. They might not feel comfortable taking books from the school library to their home because their home is too chaotic. So when it comes to these children that we help, this might be one of the first books they have, or it might be a book that they can share generationally. Grandma can read it to them because it's going to be in their home. It's not going to be, just something that they have to take back in 2 weeks. This is a book they can call their own. So anything that you can donate for books, if you've got books around your house, the drive runs March through May, and there's drives around the community. You can find out more about it at readiatrics.org, or you can find a Facebook page under Readiatrics, 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 and find out how you can help. I always can use volunteers on delivery day because we have so many books. It's quite a lot to haul in. So be watching for that. That's going to be sometime in May.
Okay. You told me a story just recently about a young woman who is teenage.
She is Miss South Dakota, and she got a truckload of books for us this last year, 3,500 books. So that brought our total to 6,500 this last year that we brought over to the South Dakota Department of Health. And they've got 16 clinics they're helping now. They expanded not only their building, but their resource area that they're caring for. So they told me they'll go through 5,000 books easily there. So it was nice to have her help. That was Miranda she, I can't come up with her name. Oh, Miranda Ortho Bryan. And she came through and, oh my gosh, with a big donation of books, and we're really appreciative of her.
So that's an example of an individual who just decides to help and does some fabulous stuff.
My dog Gibson came to visit us, so as long as he's going to be messing around, I'm just going to bring him up here. And so, yeah, so Miranda helped us, and now she is Miss South Dakota. And her core project is literacy. So I've loved working with Miranda. That's the good little projects we did. We got so close to the men's detention center last year, and so we worked together on some good things. Yeah, I would guess so.
Let me ask you a question. You don't say this in a lot of your material, but at the heart of giving books to kids as opposed to toy trucks or pencils, books create love and literacy. As Brandon knows, literacy is a huge issue in our community. There are high levels of literacy, difficulty finishing school, difficulty starting school, literacy is not a huge issue. When you started Readiatrics, did you have that? I mean, it sounds like you were just thinking these kids should have books because you assume literacy.
That's probably it, Barb. I didn't think of long-term effects or anything like that. I just thought there's a problem here. I can help. I know people with really pristine books that can help fill this need in the hospital. And then for other kids as it went on. But of course, that literacy. If you don't have a book in your home, if you don't have a book you can call your own, I think it's really rough to think that you're going to find an appreciation for literacy suddenly in fifth grade. So, or to have that love of books if you don't have a minute to sit down with your grandma and grandpa and read a book, which I had that.
The same book, kids love that repetition. I think part of learning to read is they read the same thing to you 400 times because you love it, and you suddenly get the letters and the sounds and the pictures in your head are all related, and it's that great moment when you go, oh, I can read, I can do this. That's a cat. But if you don't have a book of your own, you don't get that repetition. Your family members can share it with you. You have to read to your sister.
Yeah.
Different ways.
Yeah. I have seen some beautiful things where the books come in and the older sibling starts just automatically reading to their younger sibling. It just happens. And they grab those books and they grab the books that look like them. So that's why I know the relevancy of the cultural books that need to be there in their hands. So being your average white girl, I didn't know, and I never saw a book that didn't look like me.
I would disagree. When I was growing up, there were an awful lot of books that looked like boys. But I don't see girls that were going into science or girls that were astronauts. There's Harriet the Spy. Pippi Longstocking. She was one of my heroes, But there were a lot of those books didn't have girls doing the things that I thought would be fun. And so they seemed not as well. Kids used to see as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I kind of got out and all it was
She's weird people. But yeah. Well, still, it's about guys. But, but when you found Little Women,
yeah, Joe.
Yeah, Joe.
Yeah. Boys got to do fun things. Yeah. I always thought boys were the ones that got to do fun things. That's what I saw. I didn't realize that girls could do fun things. boys are the ones that are pirates. Parachutists and firefighters, scientists, and writers. It's all boys. What I can see, somebody that cultural, just being able to see yourself is an important part of what you're doing when you get this culture.
Well, if we look at the overall impact, if we think about 186,000 books going out over the last 20 years from this little project that had a Rubbermaid top and Lucy
I think still has
still has Rubbermaid tops, and it's very organic, and the money doesn't go to administration. I think that that's another thing people can get on board with, is that it's very, very organic. You can give money to something that you know will go directly to helping your child. You can give a book to go to directly helping your child. So it doesn't have to be going through an envelope that goes to Chicago that somehow gets to Iowa, and then somehow the books are distributed to 48 states. No, this is going to stay in your area. It's around here. You're going to help kids in this area get those books in their homes. And that's what makes it so different. Over 20 years of giving books to children in homes around this area. So you're making a direct impact. And that's what I think is the most important thing. Yeah, I'm not going to sit down and write myself out a check for $50,000. Heck, what good does that do anybody but me? And so you've got to help people around you if you're going to have a better community, if you're going to make it a livable place that all of us can be proud of. And I think that's what we want for Rapid City. And so, for me, I started with literacy. But there's a lot of different places we can start.
And that was your passion plea for all of you to get involved in your community in some way. And if you want to get involved in the arts, there are big organizations, there are small organizations like ours, there are little projects, little projects that give 30 instruments a year to kids who want to do band and support it in their families. 5,000 books to kids. Those are still relatively small things that just really require to. It's still not a big impact. So you can volunteer, you can start your own thing. If you think Backroom might be able to help you, let us know. We're pretty interested in finding people of hope. If there's anybody else like Darla in the world, you might just imagine. But if you're someone like Darla who has a passion and wants to help, please contact us. Pause and cut this. Maybe put some flowers in here. Okay. And you seem like you talking about it.
I was just that.